This is my review of Con Multistage, Stage 2, Total Reprogramming. Let's get it.
Yeah. I'm inspired. I'm inspired.
Hey there guys, how's it going? My name is Sumit Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. Today I'm talking about my experience with Con Multistage Stage 2. If you go back, you can find my video of what I experienced in Stage 1. If you notice right now, my voice sounds a lot deeper, it sounds a lot more grounded. I have a lot more certainty in the way that I'm speaking. I think because of this program, I've just been able to really reconsider a lot of the things that I've considered to be true or had a specific idea of earlier to this process. So what Con Multistage is, it's a subliminal sound file to listen to from subliminalclub.com, and essentially now finished with Stage 2. I gave myself an extra day, and I'm really excited to start Stage 3, which is all about taking action. And I feel it, I really feel it, like I'm about to take some massive action right now. However, it was so interesting how last night I had food poisoning and I actually threw up a lot. I purged actually. And isn't that kind of symbolic in the fact that I let go of a lot of the things being stored inside of me? Because that's what this stage felt like. It felt like I was letting go of a lot of the things that were stored inside of me, and I did a lot of cognitive reframing. In fact, earlier when I did Stage 1, I would get triggered at something. I would avoid it, or I would feel that hesitation. Now in Stage 2, let's say I'm watching some kind of a movie and it brings up something that pertains to something I'm going through. Instead of fast forwarding through it or turning it off or kind of resisting it, now I surrender to the moment, right? Surrender experiment with Michael Singer. That's what I'm doing right now. I am allowing myself to lean into that because I know that there's incredible growth in that process of just leaning in to the things that you fear, to the things that you resist. So that's the first shift that I noticed. The second thing that I noticed is this phase was kind of like a rejuvenation phase too. There's a lot of self-care days. There's a lot of days where I was just kind of sitting by myself, and I also got a little bit more into meditation than usual. I was taking lots of rest days. Certain times I was going off the handle, like for instance, I got a bottle of tequila the first week that I started it, and I just felt an urge to do that and kind of get this debauchery out of me, like, you know what I mean? And then after a while it just got very easy to stay away from that stuff. And other than a few sips of wine, I don't think I have indulged or overindulged in anything from that point forward, so that's really cool. Also, what was pointed out to me is, man, I have the silliest, most ridiculous excuses. I don't know if anybody going through this program sees what is going on inside their mind, but this was very clear to me that, man, I have so many excuses not to do things. Like, I find all the justifications because my mind does work very fast. It does clump things together. It is very analytical, but that is a blessing and a curse. My flow profile is a deep thinker. Honestly, it gets me to analysis paralysis at times, but then it also gets me to really integrate and solve problems. So again, this is something that just was brought up for me during this process. I also ended up applying to a PhD program and things like this. A lot more clients this month, interestingly enough. Made some interesting sales here and there. The idea of abundance is kind of changing and shifting for me and what I think of abundance, and this came from a lot of things, right? Watching lectures of brotherhood and other things like this, just being able to learn from this process and what's happening. The next thing I noticed is my reflexes are much faster. So let's say that I woke up late one day and I had a client call. I could quickly get into my suit, go out the door and do it, right? There was no feeling of urgency that I usually had. I only have 5 minutes to get ready, let's do this, right? So kind of that willpower, that leaning in quality was very interesting to notice. Also, there's a definite magnetism. When people see you, when people are around you, they just like being in that energy. You know, very interestingly enough, people got like tired around me. I don't know why, maybe this relates, but it's like my energy was too much for them. It's like they were almost having to consolidate their own energy levels as I was around and doing things and getting things done. They were sort of like, whoa, like this guy's really doing it, right? Also, I got on a couple of dates this month, which is not that common for me. I don't really go on a lot of dates. I am very work oriented in my approach, very business focused right now. However, it was nice, man. It was nice to connect with a few lovely ladies, and yeah, I think that I'm definitely going to do more of that. I'm definitely going to now think about expanding my social circle to a better level, because I've gotten a lot better at communication, and it's very clear from the way that I can create a storyline in my mind now. The next thing is self-control. I told myself a couple of things like that night where I was like, I'm not gonna drink outrageous amounts of alcohol. I'm not gonna, do certain things for that long. It's been kind of a process of weaning away from a lot of bad habits, and also semen retention September, if you even want to call it that. But yeah, I haven't been ejaculating also for the month of September. So today's the 19th, I believe. So I'm on 19 days. So in terms of the reprogramming phase, I did notice that a lot of my values are being questioned. A lot of my ideas around things are being questioned. I started watching this podcast, which is not politically correct per se. However, it is expanding my mind with new points of view and new ideas. So I do love that. I do love learning things now that are outside of my niche of flow state and trying to integrate it into flow state as well. So that's been really cool. And the fact that, I got crowned, you could say, Dr. Scripts by AZD, that's a cool process too that happened within this time. I'm sure you guys saw that video that I posted. Yeah, man, a lot of interesting things have kind of lined up and aligned in the perfect ways, you could say. And the things that I missed out on, or the opportunities that I didn't leap for or whatever, I think now my mindset is so sharp, I'm almost reframing it as to what meaning did that have to me? Like, okay, if I missed it, the universe was protecting me from that thing, right? Like, there's a lot better things out there for me. And every rejection is a redirection, that mindset of just like being able to look at the losses not as losses but as lessons, right? My business coach Joe Nakasi always says wins and losses, and if you get on a coaching call with me, that's the first thing we do if we wrap up in the next week. I ask you, what is your biggest win? And if life was a classroom teaching you lessons, what was your biggest lesson? What was the biggest thing that you learned? And I think that that's a great mindset to have in general, of just being able to have that growth mindset, right? What can I improve? How can I make things better? And not like seeking, but it's more like a beingness, right? I've noticed kind of my beingness change in a sense, where I got really clear on my archetype and like the kind of con character that I want to be. Honestly, I do feel a lot of resistance to that character. However, in one of my videos I was talking about going a layer deeper, right? And finding that dark light mix of like the shadow integrated man, of the integrated divine masculine character that I'm creating, this archetype, and living it each day. So that has been fascinating to me. So I'm not going to make this video too long like the other one. I just wanted to share a few of the insights from stage 2. If you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Have an incredible day. May the flow be with you, and stay legendary. Let's get it today. Boom.